Welcome to the Best of British campaign. Digital transformation is a widely used term. Tech companies champion it and organisations claim to have achieved it. But in the realm of document management and communications, what is the reality? I'm talking to Jonty Fletcher, Head of Marketing at Synertec. Jonty, welcome. Jonty, have organisations in this field truly succeeded in digital transformation?
Many have, but many also haven't. It's a huge shot in the dark that a lot of businesses take because they hear these buzzwords around digital transformation. And when they're doing this, they will end up mismanaging it because they don't know what they're doing. And from our perspective looking in, mismanagement is far worse than not doing it at all. The key area that we've seen this with is document management, and a lot of businesses want to improve their efficiencies. They look to reduce those manual input that their teams have, and what they end up doing is giving them more work to do through adding processes to them on the digital journey. We need to cut those out. If they're looking at their digital transformation journey for document management, then they want to make themselves more efficient and reduce the manual input that's there. What we need to do is figure out how we can do that without adding more work to them.
So what does best practice here look like?
So best practice can look completely different depending on which industry, sector or business that we're working with. What we need to do is understand what are their objectives. If we don't know the objectives, we don't know what best practice can be. So we need to understand that and then figure out step by step how we achieve those objectives.
While there's no one-size-fits-all for success, are there common themes that you're seeing where businesses are falling down?
The biggest issue that I find with businesses that are falling down is forgetting about the end user that's receiving that communication or that document. If we're not thinking about the best way for individuals to receive something, then it's not landing how it should. And if it's not landing how it should, then we're not getting the actions that we need from that person. So whether it's somebody that needs to pay something that's going to be an invoice that's out of date, if it's going to be somebody needing to turn up to a patient appointment, we need to make sure they understand that's what we're asking them.
While a lot of companies will be quite full throttle and on board with the digital transformation, others may be a bit more reluctant, wanting just the bare minimum. But with that can come risk, surely?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the bare minimum, it's just as risky as going all in. And it comes to a place of misunderstanding or lack of knowledge. And that's where we're to help. If they don't understand how to get to where they need to be, they're just going to shut it off. And if they shut it off, then that's something that's going to hold that business back. And eventually it can affect their revenue, it can affect their employees' happiness. There's a lot of things that it can affect if they end up doing more than they need to.
I want to understand a bit more about, I guess, the motivations behind resistance to digital transformation. What are you seeing among leaders? Why might they be resistant?
A big one is data security risks. If we're going digital for everything, there's a real fine margin for error with these things. And what they need to do is find companies that are really secure, that can help them through that journey. Businesses aren't going to have that expertise themselves, and they need to have people that can help them with data governance.
Tell me more, if you would, about Synertec's solution. How do you look to resolve some of these challenges?
Our solution, Prism, is a software that essentially is a toolkit of different applications, and people can pick and choose all the different functions that it can have. But at the heart of it, it's all about data. So Prism is about taking data from any format, any system, and then transforming it into what it needs to be. So it could be looking at putting it into a different system, going from a legacy system to a new one for businesses' customers. It could be speaking between different systems that currently don't work together because it's going from being a line of data in a spreadsheet to becoming a letter for a patient. It's really important for us that we just work together with them to figure out what their end goals, what do they want to do and how do they get there, and then Prism will do the rest.
How are you able to manage diverse data formats, but also if anyone's still using paper-based documentation?
The reason that we're able to do this is working with one of our biggest customers, which is the NHS. There are so many diverse systems in the NHS and intricacies that it's been a huge testing ground for us, where we've needed to connect these systems to improve patient experience. And from that, it's given us the greatest challenges to figure out and refine Prism as a solution to where it is today.
So let's say a prospective client is convinced, on board. How does the journey look? How do you start?
So first and foremost, we always start with a consultation. So we will go and sit down with the prospective customer, and we'll figure out exactly what they want to achieve. What we'll do from there is we'll naturally interrogate and challenge them on what their objectives are, because ultimately we're here to provide our expertise, and they won't know what's best for them in every aspect. So we'd follow the consultation with an audit, and that's where we look at all of their existing systems. We look at what data that they're passing through, what communication outputs they currently have, and then we'll start looking at where we can work with all of those systems so that it doesn't cause them extra IT work, but then we can just seamlessly fit in.
And what's next for Synertec?
Next for Synertec is to really embrace giving more control to the end user. So whether it's vulnerable clients in consumer duty for insurance, for example, or if it's the patients, or if it's citizens from the councils getting their information, we want to give control to them so that they can take hold of their communications and really understand what they need to be doing to engage with each of those areas.
You mentioned consumer duty, obviously a vitally important piece of regulation. All companies need to understand it. How do you help them here?
So we help businesses by taking the hassle away from them. They know it's something that's really important for them to achieve, and we can do all that work for them. So we help them collect the preferences of their end users, and then we start transforming all of their communications into their preferences so that they're understanding what they're receiving.
Jonty, thank you so much. Jonty Fletcher, Head of Marketing at Synertec.